A military buildup of US assets in the Middle East appears to indicate that the Trump administration could be gearing up for another round of war with Iran. Now, there's also the possibility that this buildup is just meant to serve as a deterrent, but let me give you the details. You can decide for yourselves. So Newsweek is reporting that a massive wave of US Air Force KC-135 Stratotankers has moved into the Middle East, marking one of the largest aerial refueling deployments in recent months. Similar large-scale military movements were observed just before the 12-day conflict involving Israel and US strikes on Iran's infrastructure and nuclear facilities. So there are flight tracking, there's flight tracking that shows that the aircraft are leaving from Atlantic bases in the US to US Central Command headquarters in Qatar. And so at the same time, you should keep in mind that tensions have been rising as a result of stalled nuclear negotiations between the United States and Iran. Now, Cenk, why did those nuclear negotiations between the United States and Iran stall?
Because Israel did not want us to have a peace treaty with Iran or take their nukes out. They wanted war. So now they will go for war and they will try to drag us into that war. And almost everyone in mainstream media and both parties will tell you that if you resist that call for war, you're an anti-Semite. Now the rest of the story.
No, you're right. Okay, you're totally right about that. But I also want to place some blame on the Trump administration because Trump lied to the Iranians, told them that we're going to continue negotiating this nuclear deal, and then in the middle of that, proceeded to do military strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities.
Yes, and so
So why would Iran trust the United States?
No, it's actually worse than that. So Obama had made a perfectly good deal with Iran. We got all the uranium out, no threat of nukes, no threat to the region. Trump gets out of it in his first term. Then he actually wants to get to peace in the second term. We give him credit for that, right? So then Israel goes, no, we said war, shut up and do war, right? So then Trump goes, okay, all right, we'll bomb their nuclear facilities. Okay, all right, I hate it. It's a pro-war position, but he does it. Then he does something interesting. He says, all right, Israel, turn your ships around, your jets around, because no more bombing, that's it, we're done with the war, right? And we gave him a lot of credit for that. But Israel, it never lets it go. If they want war, they're gonna get war and you're gonna fight it. So now we don't have a treaty, they're back to enriching uranium, because why wouldn't they? And Anna, to me, out of all of these things, they killed the peace negotiaters. You might have heard that they tried to kill Hamas's negotiators in Qatar, right? They murdered Iran's peace negotiators. So who are we even going to, the Iranians are afraid to send negotiators because Israel is likely to murder them.
Exactly.
How do you get the peace if Israel murders all the peace negotiators?
Well, I believe Israel wants to basically balkanize Iran, okay? And they want to weaken Iran for their own purposes. And the only way to do that is to invade and engage in war, which, these regime change wars never end up in this utopian way that the perpetrators or the believers of regime change war believe it's going to end up. And look, just real quick, when it comes to Iran's nuclear enrichment or uranium enrichment, why were they doing that if they weren't planning on building a nuclear weapon? It was a latent nuclear deterrent, because right now there is one country in the Middle East that is acting in a very belligerent way. So having a latent nuclear deterrent prevents Iran from getting attacked by Israel. That was the thinking.
Yeah, so look guys, Israel really believes that if anyone else has any kind of weapons in the region, that it's a threat to them. And they think we have to neutralize that threat. It's always existential danger. We're all gonna die, we're all gonna die, we're all gonna die. We have to hurry up and attack everyone else and bomb everyone else before we die, okay? So they think the ends justify the means. Okay, so
means justify the ends.
Means justify the ends, right? And their means are constantly war, both for themselves, but always constantly dragging us into it. They said, Iraq's the #1 enemy of Israel. at the time, Iraq was attacking Al-Qaeda, who was our #1 enemy. But we invaded Iraq anyway, because Israel wanted war, and the neocons, including Benjamin Netanyahu, who was one of the top neocons, so you must attack Iraq, and we did. So now he's saying you must attack Iran. But brother, why are you the boss of us? I didn't vote for you, nobody in this country voted for you. You are the leader of a different country. So now he's saying, oh, well, Iran could reconstitute uranium, even though they don't have any missiles. We destroyed all their missiles that could deliver it, and even Netanyahu acknowledges that. But then they could have, many years later, they could build missiles. Many years later, they could build uranium. Many years later, they could put it together. So that's it, we have to kill them. We have to kill them, and we have to invade, and we have to bomb, because no one's even allowed to have a rock. And it's true, in Israel, if the Palestinian boy throws a rock out of frustration, or for whatever reason.
Like kill him.
Murdered on the spot, on the spot. You're not even allowed to resist them in any way, shape, or form. You must all bow. Everyone in the Middle East, no one's allowed to have any weapons other than Israel, and they're allowed to have nukes.
Right.
And they're allowed to have Iron Dome, they're allowed to have everything. And if you dare defy them at all, they will invade you, bomb you, and make America do it. So I'm tired of the deeply aggressive imperial empire in the middle of the Middle East, not only bossing everyone around and attacking everyone, but also bossing us around and saying, you have to attack Iran, otherwise all of you Americans are anti-Semites and terrorist supporters and Nazis. Enough of that crap. And thank you, brother Tucker Carlson, for saying so.
So let's talk a little bit about what these military assets are and what they would be used for. So we're talking about the buildup of KC-135s, which is in fact important in giving the United States some longevity in fighting wars. So the KC-135 has anchored America's aerial refueling mission since the late 1950s, enabling long-range power projection across the globe. Its ability to keep fighters and bombers airborne has made it indispensable for both deterrence and combat operations. Now I'm hoping, although having hope in this scenario seems ridiculous, but I'm still hoping that this military buildup is really just about a deterrent. Although when it comes to what's been going down in the Middle East, Iran has actually shown an insane amount of restraint given all of the assassinations of nuclear scientists, all of the strikes on Iran, like everything that's been happening. Every single time Iran responds in an insanely measured way that's meant to prevent anyone from really getting hurt, whether it's on US military bases or in Israel as well. And they don't want war. They don't want war. It's so obvious. But nonetheless, we seem to be barreling toward that. So Iran has responded by signaling their deterrence. They won't start a war, they say, but they do intend to defend themselves if they are dealt with more strikes by the Israelis or the US. Jafar Asadi, deputy for inspection, said that Tehran would extend the range of its missiles to wherever necessary and stressed the country would respond decisively if attacked, dismissing US and European calls to limit the missile program. And by the way, let me just remind you all that according to Benjamin Netanyahu himself, Israel is currently engaged in a 7-front war. So I don't see how engaging in another war with Iran, which has far superior military capability compared to the other countries that Israel is targeting, is going to bode well for Israel or the United States.
Look, if they want the war, just go ahead with your 9 million people, go into war.
It's crazy.
Leave us out of it. Look, I hate it. I don't want you to go to war. You're gonna murder a ton of people in Iran for no reason at all. You love to murder, that's all you ever do, but self-defense. What does that bombing Tehran have to do with self-defense? What is bombing Doha and Yemen and Lebanon? All self-defense, self-defense. I know, like the lunatics who are pro-Israel, they believe it. It's all self-defense. Every time we murder and attack and bomb, it's self-defense. No, it's not. You guys are totally and utterly blind. You're a blind giant destroying everything in your path. So now we have this issue where the Iranians obviously don't want war. Right. I mean, you know who kills peace negotiators? People who want war, right?
True, yeah.
And so I don't know why we're forced to fight it. So why don't we just tell them, you're on your own. You're on your own. Why do we owe them? Why do we owe them wars? And we've already spent $30 billion massacring Palestinians. We've already given them $300 billion, and their answer is anti-Semite. You owe me more. You owe me more war. You owe me more money. And whenever you point it out, they're like, how dare you be hateful? No, I'm sick of it. Stop robbing me. Stop promoting more wars and dragging us into them. And this is America, guys. Let's start voting. Okay, tyt.com/no more. You know what that link is? Anyone who takes Israeli lobby money, AIPAC or otherwise, vote the bums out, because they're literally raising their hand and go, I'll start a war, make you fight it on behalf of Israel. I'll take your money, I'll take your wallet, give me your wallet, I'm gonna give it to Israel, and then if you complain, I'm gonna say you're an anti-Semite and a Nazi, okay? So everybody is up to here with it. So go ahead, Israel, keep telling us how we have to fight your wars, and how we're all now the majority of Americans oppose the support of Israel. So the majority of Americans are anti-Semites? Keep going. Keep telling us how we're all anti-Semites, how Americans are so terrible. You dirty, terrible anti-Semitic Americans. Shut up and go to war for us. You have to destroy Iran. You have to destroy all of our enemies. Guys, I'm trying to wake you guys up, and so is Tucker Carlson, so is Hannah, so is a lot of good people now miraculously on the right and left, and saying, yeah, no, we don't have to do anything. You are not the boss of us.
Well, Trump has not indicated that he intends to do military strikes in Iran. There is the military buildup that we just spoke about, but this week Israeli officials did tell local media outlets that they do in fact consider further strikes against Iran. And we all know that once those strikes happen, the US will get dragged into a hot war with Iran, which is a really bad idea, especially as Donald Trump and the Trump administration right now, because of Marco Rubio's obsession with regime change in Venezuela, is gearing up for war with Venezuela.
So what happened to no war? Okay, good. Look, on a political end, I should be thrilled, right? Trump and Rubio and all those guys and all the Republicans said, oh, don't worry, vote for us. We'll keep you out of war. Our stance is anti-war. And now they're betraying it left and right. Oh, let's go to war with Venezuela. Let's go to every war Israel wants, etc. And I should say, oh great, then the Democrats will take advantage. But what difference does it make? The Democrats are gonna come in and do exactly what Israel orders them. And we're gonna go to war on behalf of Israel, whether it's the Republicans or Democrats. If you're not sick of that, you're not paying attention, okay? And so, yeah, what happened to anti-war? So look, on the one hand, I love that the right wing is waking up and saying no more of this crap. On the other hand, don't get tricked just because someone has a label, Democrat or Republican. I've been saying it to Democrats for the last 20 years. Those Democratic leaders are not on your side. They will serve the donor class, corporations and foreign governments. And now I'm telling you on the right, just because his name is Trump or they have an R next to their name or whatever you think they are, demand that they listen to you, which MAGA is pretty good at when it comes to their politicians. Demand they listen to you, otherwise get the hell out of here, man. You wanna go support Israel, you wanna go be the president of Israel, go to Israel. Okay, this is America, and no other government should run us.